What is up, YouTube? Fanta here with...
Just say it. Hi. Anyway,
this is Ginger Spice.
Okay, that was it.
He's from Pixel Party, which we want to rename pretty soon because it's a pretty terrible name.
It is. We Foo Fighters did.
We're thinking of Back Alley Crooks. Go ahead and comment down below what you guys think of Back Alley Crooks. Anyway, so...
What if they like it and they want the backstory and then they're like, nope.
That'd be... Well, we wouldn't give them the backstory, but we would give you the name of the new channel. Anyway... So let's get to what we're actually here to talk about, and that is the Gears of War 4 beta.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think, first of all, because you played it more than I have?
I honestly like it. I like it a lot. I think the gameplay is pretty smooth. Being a fan of the Gears series, I think it is actually really well done. The one thing that I don't like about it, and I don't know if it's just because it's still in that beta stage, is just it doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Graphics and all that, it doesn't look done. It looks like a Halo 5 map.
The graphics look worse than Gears of War 1, in my opinion. Because you remember what happened when you shot your first grub with the shotgun and you saw his like rib cage and his organs and you bashed it and you'd see them all jiggle and that was awesome. I loved it.
It was pretty good.
There's none of that in this game at all. Like, not even if you behead somebody, it's just red. If you shoot somebody in half, it's just red. There's no more detail like we saw in the other games.
And the physics and the way everything kind of moves, like the thing that I really liked about Gears 3 especially, because that was my favorite of the series, is when you went up and you just nashered somebody. Like when they, this sounds so bad, but when they burst into chunks.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it was really realistic in the way that the body fell apart, you know? Whereas this one, it's just, you shoot and then chunks just fall.
Sometimes they go across the map.
Yeah.
So they're either not enough or they're too much.
Yeah, there's no in between, which I feel like it really needs that.
It really needs that.
I don't know why either, because you think for next gen, you'd think they'd want a Gears game to look really good, because...
It shouldn't look worse than a last gen console, because right now, this isn't even next gen anymore. This is the current generation of consoles, and what they need to do is show what they can do.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that with this game at all.
And I'll be honest with you, like, when Gears 3 came out, visually, to me, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I thought it looked incredible for an Xbox 360 game.
That was a late Xbox 360 game, and it looked incredible.
Yeah. And this, for an Xbox One title, just kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, what's going on. Like we talked about earlier, I'm hoping that it's just because of it being a beta, but...
Yeah,
maybe I want to say that maybe they'll fine-tune it, but who knows?
The thing is nowadays we're seeing betas, and they're not actually a beta anymore.
Yeah.
They're calling it a beta, but it's more like a demo to show off before the game comes out.
Yeah, yep.
Which is unfortunate, because then they can't take any of the feedback that we're giving right now and actually implement it. So we're looking at probably the final product right now.
Which is...
very sad.
Visually, it's very disappointing.
Sad.
Like I was saying, like gameplay-wise, though, I think I like it. It has some flaws. I mean, I don't think there's anything that's going to be perfect. For me, the biggest issue that I have is... which is something that's happened in a lot of Gears games, is my shots don't connect.
Yes, that has been a problem in the Gears of War series for a long time, is sometimes the hit detection just isn't there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense. Like, you'll shoot somebody point blank with a shotgun, and you'll be the one that blows up in bits.
Yep.
And it doesn't make any sense at all.
Earlier, I was playing, while you were away, I was playing, and I had jumped over some barrier or something like that. The guy that I was chasing didn't see that because I tried to cut him off, and so he ran around while I jumped over, so I was behind him, and I literally shot him. I killed him, but he killed me too. It was weird. And it wasn't I fell and like died. It was as if he got me with the Nasher as well. I blew to chunks as well, which doesn't make sense because I literally was behind him. And
some games have also had some noticeable lag, which made sense back in the old Gears of War days because those were not dedicated servers.
Right.
This game is promoting dedicated servers. It is advertising that, and they're still having these hit detection problems it still feels like there's somewhat of a host advantage when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't happen.
And I feel like host advantage was a thing for, I mean, a lot of games, but Gears specifically.
Yes.
Like, I remember Gears 1 and then Gears 2 as
well.
well.
Lag switching was
Pretty
where
big.
that came from. It's like Gears of War was the only game that I remember ever having lag switching where you were stuck in this like terrible state where you could barely move and they were walking around just shooting your corpses.
Yep. And one of the other issues that I've had with this beta so far too is they're introducing a lot of cool ideas, but they're just not executed well.
Yeah.
For example, they have this new, I don't know, system, I guess, where if you're both using the same cover, obviously both on opposite sides, you can grab the person and pull them over.
Which is cool.
It is, and I ran into an instance today, and I just thought maybe the dude that I was playing with was just not good. But it happened at least 3 or 4 times. My teammate pulled a guy over to his side and failed to do anything about it.
Now, I'm wondering if it's lag on their end.
It might be.
Maybe they pull them over, because now I like and hate the chainsaw battles, which is kind of another form of it.
Yeah.
Because it's another thing where it's either timing or internet connection that's really going to determine the winner of this clash or whatever.
Yeah.
And now there's 2 forms of it that are going to be seeing problems. Because like that guy may have pulled that guy over, and then all of a sudden he's lagging out and he can't kill the other guy, and the guy just kills him. Because like you said, this happened to me as well. I rarely ever won a chainsaw duel. Yep. It didn't make any sense. You could have one hand holding the controller and you're just mashing the B button as much as you can,
and somehow
the god on the other end just kills you.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know how they decide the winner for that, and it's kind of arbitrary in the sense that you go into a chainsaw battle thinking who knows who's going to win.
I feel like in any of these instances, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me. I feel like chainsaw duels and that other thing shouldn't exist. Maybe if you both chainsaw at the same time, you're both stunned, and then other people could swarm in and kill you while you're stunned for just half a second.
Yeah.
And then if you're going over at the same time, you collide into each other and fall back down on your side, and you have to get back up. But I don't know. Having another kind of dueling system, I think, is going to create more problems than.
Yeah, because at some point it stops being like a Gears of War game at that point. One other thing that I had an issue with that I thought that I was going to love, because I loved that they brought this in. I'm going to reference Gears 3 a lot, because to me that was my favorite of the series, just because to me that was so well done. It was really well polished. I feel like the mantle kicking. So they brought the mantle kick back for this one.
Which is where they're on the other side and you jump over and kick them.
Yep, exactly.
Which is fine. Which is fine. I like that in it.
I like that. I had a lot of fun with it in Gears 3. This one, and I know you saw it too when we were playing earlier, is when I jumped over, you remember the lag. It literally was like, it's as opposed to just, like that, you were like, then you made it over. And by the time you landed, dudes were swarming you. Yeah. You know?
There's some noticeable lag in animation or something that's going on right there.
It's kind of unfortunate, and especially too in the sense that there was one moment, and you were there for it as well. I did it successfully. I bolt kicked the guy over it, and so he's stunned. So naturally, I go over to just hit him with the Gnasher. Hit him with the Gnasher. It didn't do anything. Yeah. And he came out of his stun and killed me.
I had that happen a lot. I had moments where this happened in old Gears of War games as well, is where I hit them.
Right.
They don't get stunned, and then I die.
And you're stuck in that animation. You have to wait for your guy to put the gun down, and it's like, I don't know.
And you're like, well, I should have stunned him and gotten the kill because I did what I was supposed to do. I timed it perfectly. And I was even behind the guy. That's what really pissed me off, is I hit him. Yeah. And then he turned around and he shot me in the face. I'm like, maybe there's no strategy anymore. Just roll at people and shoot and hope for the best. But I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as bad as in older games than it was in this one. I feel like it's a lot worse because there's a lot more times where I was hitting people or shooting people and nothing was happening. Right. Because that was a big problem in the old games, but it didn't happen nearly as much.
Another thing too that kind of nicks me, and it's something that I really can't judge in a multiplayer beta. The characters look generic.
They're very generic. And then the new Swarm, that's a great idea. We should talk about the characters.
Yep.
Because instead of the Locusts now, they're called the Swarm.
The Swarm, which literally look like locusts.
They look like diseased locusts. Like not cool diseased locusts. Because what I loved about the Locust is that each type kind of looked different. Unique and different. Like, even the normal, like, grubs, were those the regular ones? I'm trying to remember, it's been a long time. So the grubs, you could have like the regular one, the grenadier one. Yep. You could have there's several different ones, and they all looked different. And then the Cantus, which looked really cool. Yeah. They had the robes. They had like a different looking face. And then there were the Theron guards. And those were my favorite. Those were dope. And then for Gears 3, the armored Cantus. Yes. You had the boomers. And they looked so cool, and then now it's like diseased grub number 1, diseased grub number 2. Exactly. This one's got a weird horn coming out of its head, and that's it. There's no like cool ones that you're like, oh, I really want to play as that one.
I don't know if you remember off the top of your head, but do you remember for Gears 3, they had what were called the Savage enemies? So it was like at the end of Gears 2 or whatever, when they flood the Locust Horde or whatever. A lot of the Locusts are left without a place to stay or whatever, so the Locusts kind of have to build for themselves, and that made them savage.
Okay.
These guys kind of look like that, just lazy. That's the best way I could put it.
That's a lot of things about this game. I feel like it's very lazy.
Yeah. And the savage guys looked cool in Gears 3. I thought it kind of had like that Mad Max feel to them. You know?
I think
like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whereas these guys, like, there's no detail in the Swarm for one, and it's like you have parts of their body that do kind of look detailed, and then there's parts that literally look just like smooth skin.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't get it. But
it's weird.
As far as the COG team goes, the humans,
they're all just bland people.
They are. The thing that I loved the most about Gears 1, 2, and 3, and to a lesser extent Judgment, is at least like these characters looked and felt different.
They did.
Especially like when you played as a certain one.
Yeah.
And when you really got into those stories, you could just tell about each of these individuals, like what their story was and what it is that they do. I mean, you had Cole, who was the thrashball player. The Cole Train. He was the best. And then you had Baird, who was just, he's kind of a jerk, but he's funny. But you can tell he's still a good guy. Mm-hmm. And then, you had Dom and Marcus. And these characters, they had a look about them that really distinguished them from the rest.
And from other games.
Whereas these guys, they look sloppy.
Like bland characters. Like if you're looking around in Grand Theft Auto 5, you'd see them walking around.
Exactly.
Like that's how bland they are. And not only were those characters cool, like in their personalities and stuff in the old games, they also had really cool looking armor.
Yeah.
Whereas in this game, oh my god, it's so boring. Yeah. It's like the top part is like, oh, that looks kind of like Gears of War armor, and then the bottom's like khakis.
Yeah, there's like
no... It's like, what, did they go shopping at Walmart or something before they go on the battlefield? Like...
They have a chest piece. That's to the extent of the people. And the one girl has a beanie, like I said. Like
what? That's like out of like the Division.
Yeah.
Like they got a beanie, congratulations. It doesn't make any sense when the last games, they were completely decked out in armor. I loved the... I'm hating myself that I forgot their names. The family that kept dying...
In the Gear series?
Yeah.
It's like, Carmine.
Carmine. Yeah. Was it the Carmine family?
Yeah.
So I love the Carmine family because they all had really cool looking armor.
Yep.
Like the main people's armor that weren't main characters looked really cool.
Yeah. And the cool thing about the Carmines...
There's none of that in this.
Too, yeah. The cool thing about the Carmines too was... Too. Yeah, each Carmine had a different armor set.
The last one was a badass.
Yeah. Clay, he was cool.
He was so cool.
He was just big, buff, and then his chest said like Grub Killer or something like that. It had a skull on it. This guy...
He was like the Full Metal Jacket one.
Yeah. He was a badass. And the thing about this too is like I said, it's hard to go off these characters just because we're in a multiplayer beta. We're just kind of going off of what they look like. Mm-hmm. Hopefully when the game comes out and you play 4's story, it kind of fleshes out these characters and you kind of see something unique about them. But the way they look is generic. The only thing I know about these characters so far is the main character is Marcus Phoenix's son,
Okay.
JD. That's it. That's all I know. And
that's all we have so far.
Yeah, that's about it. But all in all, though, despite the fact that the game kind of looks sloppy,
looks like Gears of War 1 minus the details of the gore.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Gears of War 1 with less detail.
And you pointed this out a lot, and I agree with it. Is in old Gears games, when you're chainsawing a dude to pieces, there's like this fountain of blood.
It was so satisfying in the old games how grisly this game was.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, I was shocked by how much blood there was. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I exploded this guy, his arms and his brain went over. Whenever you shot somebody with a headshot, that was so satisfying. With the sniper or the bolt hawk, you see their head not only pop off, but their like skull fragments would be all over the place, and their brain would sometimes be sitting there. In pieces or like intact. And you could go over and look at their body, and you'd see like where their skull was, and you'd see like their like veins where their throat were. You could see like their spinal column. Flat red in this game, and it's like, what are you doing?
And that was the thing too, is like because of that, it made you want to use the chainsaw.
Yes, you wanted to take that risk to go chainsaw somebody.
So far in this Gears beta, I couldn't care less about it.
I used it twice, and then the rest of the time I was like, I need to use the shotgun, I'm going to lose.
Yep, the Gnasher is the best way to go. All in all, aside from all of that, though, the way that the game plays, it's smooth to me.
It is.
I liked it, and it's very reminiscent of Gears 3. Like, you go into cover, instantly your guy will just cling to it. You're ready to get out, you just hit A, your guy goes. And that's really important to me, because as somebody who's a pretty big fan of this series, like, I want to be able to get in and out of a situation that seems like it's getting kind of bleak, and you've got kind of that moment of desperation. So, I mean, it still has a lot of those cool elements from Gears 3. Also, grenade tagging. They kept that in.
Because did they get rid of that in Gears 3?
Gears 3, they didn't. But when they redid the Ultimate Edition, which was the remake of the first Gears for the Xbox One, because it wasn't in Gears 1,
they didn't add it
in, which is like...
It's like, just do it.
Why would you not? I mean, it was such a good thing to add.
It's great, I love it.
Yeah.
Because you can strategically place them, like, I'm going to sit here because I know they're coming over here, but if they want to come around here, I could put a grenade here and here.
Yeah.
So you at least have an alert system so you know when they're coming.
Your back is watched.
Which is great.
Yep.
I love it. It's so much fun. When you get that little... like blip on the left-hand corner that says you got that grenade kill, and you forgot that you even put a grenade. It's such a good feeling.
You just keep raking in points, and you're wondering why it happened. But it adds a lot of interesting elements to that, because if you're not playing with friends to watch your back, you have grenades to watch your back.
Exactly.
Yeah, and one thing that I do hope that they bring back for Gears 4 when the entire thing is out is Horde.
I'm sure they'll add Horde.
If they don't, that's going to be upsetting. Because Horde wasn't in Gears 1, they didn't add it in the Ultimate Edition when they remade that, which didn't make sense to me, because it's good. It's fun.
It's fun.
You and four people just get together.
They also, now I'm really hoping this is only a beta thing, they wouldn't let us play local co-op.
That is true.
They wouldn't let us play local online, and that was a staple of the Gears of War series. I really hope they don't go the Halo route and cut out couch co-op, because that may stop me from buying the game. I said that with Halo 5, that I wasn't going to buy the game, and this game I feel like would be a lot more impactful if they got rid of it.
It was... I've had a lot of difficulties these days getting annoyed with games, just because, I don't know, I don't see a reason to get annoyed. But when you and I discovered that we couldn't do split screen, I was actually annoyed. I was annoyed, and it was just kind of like, this is kind of taking me out of it a little bit.
Games should be adding more, not taking away. Like, if I want to play a game that doesn't have couch co-op, I'll go on my PC, and I'll make all my friends get on there.
Yep.
I have consoles because I want to be able to play with somebody on my couch. That was the whole reason I always had consoles. I'd always buy 4 controllers immediately, because I always knew I'd have a bunch of people over, and we're going to play some party games, play some Halo, make some custom games.
Yeah.
All of this is going away. And if they continue to go down this route, PC is just going to take a big dump on these consoles because there's no reason to own them otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's the unfortunate thing about it, which, I mean, I guess some people would say it's cool, some people won't, is that a lot of games these days are going in the route of we're focusing strictly on multiplayer.
Yeah.
There is no point of a solid campaign anymore, which I disagree with.
I do too.
I love the fact that Gears of War is still going to have some sort of storyline.
I hope it's good.
I hope it's good. But I mean, if you think about it too, like at least Halo still has its campaign.
Yeah.
But then you've got games like The Division and Titanfall and Destiny, and it's just kind of like you didn't have a campaign; it was just multiplayer.
It shouldn't be $60.
Yeah. I mean, and not everybody likes to play multiplayer. You know,
No.
Some people buy a game for the campaign.
Some people can't play multiplayer. Some people don't have internet.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, you know, what's going on?
It's times are changing. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I feel like the best generation of games was the last generation of games.
Yeah.
Because now, don't get me wrong, I love retro stuff. We go game hunting all the time. You know that. My favorite console to this day is still the N64.
Mm-hmm.
But amount of time played and amount of fun I had, the last generation consoles were the best because the 360 had a lot of great couch co-op games as well as a lot of great online games. They also didn't focus on just the multiplayer. There wasn't a huge focus on DLC. There weren't season passes back then. And now there's season passes with almost every single game.
Yeah.
There's day one patches with almost every single game.
Yep.
Games, for some reason, are sacrificing good gameplay with trying to hit 60 frames per second because for some reason you can't on this technology. I mean, you can build a computer with the amount of money you're spending on these things and easily play most of these games on 60 frames. And that was the whole reason you couldn't play couch co-op with Halo 5 was because, you're not hitting 60 frames if you play couch co-op. I don't care.
Yeah,
I know the sacrifice.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care. I want to play with my friends. Even if it's 30 frames per second, it's still going to look decent. It's not going to have hiccups. Just lock it in to 30 when you're playing split screen and 60 when you're playing by yourself. Which is what Gears of War is going to have to do if they do split screen.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I don't know what frames per second the old games were because for some reason we never focused on that. That's like a new thing that we're focusing on now.
I haven't found myself yet saying, man, I want to get that game because it's going to be 60 frames per second. I haven't.
What I will do, though, is I'll look at them and go, the PS4 is going to have better graphics, it's going to run better. I might as well just get it for that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I get it for the Xbox One, it might look like crap. Like Fallout 4 had a lot of problems on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess Steven was watching his roommate, and he loaded into a town, and he loaded into the town, but the town didn't load. So he was just sitting there floating in nothingness for like a good solid 30 seconds before everything loaded in.
Yep.
Classic. Which is another thing that the Unreal Engine does a lot in Gears of War. You noticed it all the time in the old games.
Mm-hmm.
The first few seconds of the game, you'd see all the textures loading in.
Yeah.
This game, I was a good solid 5 minutes in a match, and I'm hiding behind this thing, and it's slowly loading in. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what? That was forever ago. There's no way this should be happening right now.
Another thing that I think they're taking away from this, I don't know for sure, but I just kind of, I feel like that's what's coming, is Gears 3 brought in the 4-player co-op, which I thought was awesome, because I always thought for Gears 1 and 2, you had Marcus, Dom, Cole, and Baird.
Might as well have 4 people.
Yeah, why am I just Marcus and Dom? And then Gears 3...
I think the first game made sense, because you don't start off with those people until much later
on. That's true.
So that one made sense to have 2 players. But yeah, the second one didn't really make any sense why you couldn't. So the third one, it's cool that you can play 4 players.
Yep.
Hopefully they do that with this one.
I don't think they are, at least because the first couple of trailers you only see JD Phoenix and the girl, I think her name's Kate, the one with the beanie. You only see those 2.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's because I've heard them say they're going back to that traditional style that the first Gears was, in the sense that it kind of had you in suspense. because it was dark and you didn't know what creatures were going to come out.
I liked the first game a lot because it scared the hell out of me as a kid. I don't know about you.
Yep.
When I first had those, God, I keep forgetting the names of them. What were the ones that were like running on the ground?
With the
they
bombs?
Like screamed. They didn't have bombs in the first game.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when they first drops down and they're all rushing towards you.
Wretches.
Wretches. Freaked me out. Yeah. I was like, oh my god. Like, I was actually scared. I'm sitting there shooting at them and trying to kill them all. Now, of course, we're all desensitized to that kind of thing. Yeah. It's not scary. Just like the gore wouldn't be shocking nowadays, so I'm not sure why it's not here.
Yeah. I don't know why they would.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to make the monsters scary, because right now they're not at all.
Yeah. Another thing that we already touched on, too, I'd just like to kind of reiterate on it, is the thing that I loved the most about the Gears games is I loved being able to jump in a game with my friend and not literally be a copy of the character that he is. I liked that I could be Dom if I was player 2 or Marcus if I was player 1. Each of these characters had, their own kind of arc that you were following, which I thought was really unique, and it was really interesting. And that's one of the things that caught me about this series, is that these characters, their personal stories, at the end of the day, they want the same thing. Yeah. Get rid of the Locust. But their personal stories, I thought, were...
Their reasonings behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was incredible, because I'm a huge sucker for character-driven.
They actually had emotional moments in those games too, which was really cool. It wasn't just like some faceless hero like in Halo.
Yeah.
It wasn't just some other soldier like in Call of Duty. It was like this emotional person that was dragged back into this war that they didn't want to be a part of.
Yep.
And seeing what happened to them through this was awesome.
How they evolved. I mean, specifically to me, it was with Dom.
Yeah.
Because, Gears 2, he's on the search for his wife. I mean, he's always on the search for his wife, but it gets really touched on it.
I don't want to throw spoilers out there in case you haven't played them, but
it's
playing the trilogies. That's a great, have a friend spend the night and just start playing through those games.
I highly recommend it, especially.
We should do that for the fourth one comes out.
I'll gladly do that.
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, and then we can get Steven and Gabe to do Gears 3 with us because it's fourth.
Yep.
So
one last thing I want to touch on before we go. So there was the normal mode, team deathmatch. I don't remember what the third mode was, like co-op something.
Oh, it was co-op TDM, co-op team deathmatch.
Okay, so it's just another team deathmatch.
Yep.
And then there's dodgeball.
Against bots.
Oh,
co-op TDM is against hardcore bots.
Oh, I don't care. And then dodgeball.
Dodgeball's fantastic.
I like it a lot.
Yep.
I like the whole aspect of it. I like that. I like that you can, if you die, not only can you come back, but the way you come back is by killing an opposite member of the team. So, if you die, one of your teammates has to kill one of those people.
And it's not even... I don't even think it's just a person. I think they have to kill the person that killed you, don't they?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. It is just kill someone.
I'm pretty sure it's just kill someone, and then it's like whoever, died first. It's kind of like,
Oh, okay. Go in line. I thought it was somebody had to kill the person that killed you.
I could be wrong. You could be right. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't really know for sure. But
I don't remember if they tell you the exact details of how it works, but... I like that game mode a lot. That's a great game mode.
It was unique. It was very unique.
If they clean up those other details of the game, they've sold it to me.
Yep.
But they need to clean up the game.
Yeah,
they can't make it look like an early Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
And then go, well, it runs at 60 frames per second, and that's why it can't look like that. I'm like, well, if it can't look like that, then go back to whatever it was.
I don't want 30 frames per second if I can't see detail in my characters. Yeah. Sorry. This doesn't make sense. But all in all, I'm a pretty big fan of it, and I'm gonna pick it up myself because I'm a huge fan of this game series. I have to see what's happening next, But it isn't perfect.
No,
I don't think anything is, and it's got a lot to work on. But
hopefully, I get a review copy so I can let you guys know ahead of time. If I don't, I'll probably pick up the game just so I can review it to let you guys know if it's worth a purchase. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. Any last thoughts?
One more thing. As far as the beta goes, the way that it works, as far as I've been able to gather, if you got the Gears of War Ultimate Edition on launch date, then you would have gotten the beta, which is today, the 18th of April. And then however long it took you to get the game, and however long or whatever, is when you'll get it. So if you didn't get it at launch...
Okay.
You'll get it later.
Okay.
And then if you didn't get the game at all, supposedly everyone will get it at some point within the next week or 2 weeks or something like that. The beta does end May 1st.
Okay, so, and then if you get to level 20, there's some exclusive unlocks you get for Gears of War 4.
Yeah.
There's, like, some armor, some weapon skins, and then
like
some
an emblem.
I don't really care about, but...
Yeah.
And you get, I think you might get an emblem.
Yeah, it's like
some bounty card. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, and post your experiences down below in the comments section, what you guys think of the new Gears of War game. See ya!